Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be trying to make McDonald's French fries. Well, actually, let me correct that. We're going to be trying to make a version of a French fry that is as close as possible. So my experience with McDonald's is that they cut out these nice thin French fries that are really crispy on the outside and really fluffy on the inside. So let's see what we can make here. From my understanding of a French fry, they're basically chopped potatoes that are fried and then salted. And today, we're gonna do exactly just that. For our choice of potato today, we're going to be using russet potatoes. Although high in starch content, these potatoes come with very low moisture, and that low moisture is going to help us keep the potatoes crispy on the outside, but also very fluffy on the inside. So you're going to want to cut these potatoes first into nice thin slices, about the thickness of the McDonald's French fry. And after you cut them into slices, cut them into little potato sticks. And you're just trying to get as close as possible to the size of the McDonald's French fry. If you get really good at cutting them, you can stack multiple slices and do multiple at once. You're going to want to be soaking the cut potatoes in some cold water. This helps remove any excess starch, and this will keep the potatoes really crispy. Now that the potatoes have soaked for about 30 minutes, you'll notice that the water is a bit cloudy, and this is a good sign for us to start straining the potatoes. And you're just going to shake out as much water as possible. You'll notice that there's some white stuff at the bottom of the bowl. This is just the potato starch that came out in the water. We're trying to get the potatoes as dry as possible before we fry them. Wet potatoes in hot oil will become really soggy, so we're going to also dry the potatoes. We're going to be cooking these in some canola oil. Feel free to use any oil as long as it has a high smoke point. For today, I'm going to be heating the canola oil to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. To know when your oil is ready to start cooking, simply take a fry and dip it into the oil. If it starts bubbling, it's good to go. If it doesn't, then you just have to wait a little bit longer. Now that our oil is hot enough to go, we're just going to add a handful of the fries. And just be very careful since the oil is very hot. We're going to let this cook until it's golden brown. Now that the fries are looking golden brown, we're going to strain them out and put them on the paper-lined plate. Now we're just going to finish up the rest and see how these potatoes turn out. Here we have our attempt at making the McDonald's French fry, and in order to make sure this is up to par with McDonald's, we're going to be putting this through a testing. So the first test will be the crispiness test. We're going to see if the fry has that nice crispy texture. And this receives a big fail because the fry is completely soggy. For the second test, we're going to be looking at the inside just to make sure that it's fully cooked and it's nice and fluffy. As you can see for this one, it is very well cooked and it is nice and fluffy. It's almost like mashed potatoes on the inside. For the final test, we're going to be doing a taste test. The outside is definitely really soggy. That is a texture that you can feel as soon as you bite into the fry. Just based on the crispiness feature, I think this is a fail. And we're going to have to do some more research and see how this goes. And this time, for what we're doing different is we're going to be doing a double fry, which involves frying it a first time at a lower temperature. We'll be blanching these at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That'll be for 1 to 2 minutes. And the process of this basically just cooks the centers of the potato and gets rid of excess moisture. We're gonna put this in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes until it's completely cooled. And the second fry will be giving it the nice crispy outside. You'll notice right away that it'll start to bubble, but not as much. These are what the fries look like when they're very lightly done. I prefer mine to be a little more brown and crispy, so I'm going to keep it a little longer. I think the fries are looking nice and golden brown, so we're going to go ahead and take them out. You can definitely feel the difference in the texture. Like directly through the spider, the fries feel like they're almost like rocks in the oil. Here we have our second attempt at making the McDonald's French fry. This time we used the double fry method. So first off, crispiness test. I don't know if you guys can listen to this, but so you can tell this is really crispy. Now the real test, we're gonna check out how it is on the inside. And it's nice and fluffy. It looks more fluffy than the first time. So as for the crispiness and the interior, I would say this succeeds, but here's the ultimate test for the flavor. The flavor is not as good as expecting it to be. There's still a really strong starchy flavor. It did get a lot of the moisture out, so it got the nice crispy exterior, but it feels like it intensified the starch flavor in the middle. I've already prepared and peeled some potatoes and actually stopped short before soaking them in cold water. I did a little bit of research, and in a McDonald's French fry factory, what they do is they soak them in a bit of dextrose. So it's basically just a kind of like a sweetener. So we're going to imitate that sweetness and help enhance the flavor by using our own special mixture. To our bowl, we're going to be adding 1.5 cups of cold water. Into the bowl of water, we're also going to be adding about 1/4 cup of corn syrup. Once in the bowl, carefully stir and dissolve all the corn syrup into the water. Once fully dissolved, pour the mixture into your potatoes. Since we got the texture down correctly, we're going to do the double fry method once again. After doing our initial blanch, we're going to put this in the fridge and let it cool down for 10 minutes. And now we will start to cook them at 400 degrees. So you guys probably notice as it's cooking, the color is a more caramelized brown. It has a nicer golden color, and I think this is good to go. Drain out as much oil as possible, and this time we're going to add it directly to a mixing bowl. Now that we've got all our fries second fried, and while they're still hot, we're going to toss them in some of the salt. We didn't strain the fries this time, but we made sure to get as much oil out as possible. This will actually help the salt stick to the fries. I think that it's ready to serve. We're going to grab a fry, and we're going to start off with the crispiness test. It's got a nice and bubbly skin. It's nice and crispy. Check out the inside. Also nice and fluffy. For the third attempt, we tried to fix the flavor because it tasted too starchy. It wasn't a pleasant potato fry. Right away you can tell that the sweetness and the salt coated on the fry complement each other really well. It got rid of some of that starchy flavor, and overall it just makes it taste really good. So I think this is as close as I can get to a McDonald's French fry. We put together a little game for a couple of victims we're going to be bringing into the show. So here on this side we have our homemade version, and here we have the store-bought McDonald's French fry. And we're just going to bring them in and see which one they like better. Welcome to our show. Here we have two French fries. One is a store-bought McDonald's fry, and one is our special homemade fry. So we'd like you to try it out and give us your opinion on what you think is the better fry.
I haven't had the fries in a while, but...
They look the same. That one's good.
I feel like this is McDonald's fries.
Okay, I should taste the other one now. It's weird. Okay. I would say...
It's honestly the same, so I don't know.
Honestly, I like this one better, but I have a feeling that this is actually McDonald's fries because of the color. Like, it looks exactly the same, but this one looks a little bit lighter. So I think this one's McDonald's, but it's so dry.
And for the final reveal, this one is actually the McDonald's fry.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I was right.
I guess I was right just by like looking at it, but they taste exactly the same, so.
This one's much better.
We hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of recreating the famous McDonald's French fry. We hope you try this at home and leave a comment below of your creations, and let us know if you guys have anything else you want us to recreate on the next episode.
Okay, I don't know what to